Hello and good day, Algebra. We are officially starting our math year with lessons with CO1, classifying a number as rational or irrational. That's it. I give you a number, you tell me rational or irrational. So it's going to be helpful to know what each term means, right? What is a rational number? Who's got a definition for us? It can be a working definition, means it doesn't have to be perfect, but who can get us started? Kylie. Okay, so a rational number is a decimal that ends. There's also another condition when it comes to decimals. Ends or repeats. Can it be negative?
Yes.
Can be. Can be positive?
Yeah.
Can be. What about fractions? Are they included? Yeah. The rational number set is very, very large. Jack, what are you going to say? Okay, well, I'll come back to you for that. So a rational number is any positive or negative number, fraction, or decimal that ends or repeats. Okay, so taking notes, you should be writing this down as well. Same place as I am. If you want to change the words a little bit, that's totally fine. If you can't read my chicken scratch, let me know, and it's something I've been working on. Any positive or negative number, fraction, or decimal that ends or repeats. R-E-P-E-A-T-S. It is. It is. But that would be something we don't need on the video. So whoever threw that out there, that would be an example of something that we don't need recorded on the video. Okay. The other thing I'm going to throw out here for you, because it might be kind of new, the roots of perfect squares, such as the root of 25, that's always going to be rational because it's the root of a perfect square. What is the square root of 25, Jack? 5. Okay. All right, Jack, give us your definition of an irrational number. Right. It is a decimal that does not end or repeat. Okay. It goes on forever and ever and ever. Someone earlier questioned my spelling on a word. I will have you know that in 5th and 6th grade, I participated in our school's spelling bee. And so I know my stuff. I'm just saying. All right. I didn't win. I got out like right away, but I got there. So, Lisa.
So for let's say there was, the square root of 12.
Yes. Where might have you come up with such an example as that? Yeah. So the square root of 12. 12 is not a perfect square. There's no number of them. You multiply times itself, it gives you 12. So the square root of 12 is going to be a decimal that goes on forever and ever and ever and ever. Okay. Any root of a non-perfect square is always going to be an irrational number. Okay. Any root of a non-perfect square, meaning nothing times itself can equal that. Boys, do you have a problem? Do you have a problem? Okay. Any root of a non-perfect square is always going to be an irrational number, such as the root of 12. Okay. Give me another example of the root of a perfect square. That's going to be rational. Let's kind of go back to that a little bit. What's the root of a perfect square, Catherine? 64, right? The root of 64 equals 8. Therefore, it's going to be rational. What's another example of the root of a non-perfect square that would be an irrational number? Noah?
20.
Sure, root of 20. Okay, nothing times itself. It's so often kids fall in the trap of thinking like what plus itself? Oh, like the root of 20 is 10. No, it's what times itself. Okay, there's nothing times itself that equals 20. The notation for a decimal, it does not end, it does not repeat. Say we've got 1.56329. There's no ending, there's no repetition. If you see the 3 dots, That's the mathematical symbol for it. Just goes on and on and on and on and on, meaning it would be an irrational number. Alex. What do we know about pi? Never ends. Computers have gotten pi out to more than 2 billion digits, no end, no repetition, no pattern whatsoever. Pi is probably the most famous irrational number. Okay? Questions so far? All right, so now they're done with the notes, which we're starting off kind of easy peasy here as far as note amount. We go down to Mr. Happy Pencil section, and this is going to be your homework for the evening. You just finish the page. Okay, you don't go on to CO2. Go down to the end here, and that's it. And all you need to do is label the number as rational or irrational every year. Can we use an R or an I? Sure. But you do need to explain why you chose the category that you did. So negative 19.7, rational or irrational? Joey. Rational. Why do you say that? It ends. Yep. Ooh, my. I don't think it records the shaking. I'm not sure if it does. I don't think it does. I guess we'll find out. You have to watch it. And don't forget to like and subscribe. What about the root of 36? Yeah. Right. It's rational because if you simplify this, the root of 36 equals 6. Okay. We already talked about the root of 12. That would be irrational. And the reason why, you can write that 12 is a non-perfect square. Okay. Non-perfect square. Right? That's kind of the first section there. The bottom section says answer each question. And it says write the value of 7 3 ways. This kind of goes back to maybe some words that you learned last year. As an integer, a fraction in simplest form, and using a square, or a fraction not in simplest form, and using a square root. What's an integer? What's an integer, Arlene?
A positive or negative number.
Positive or negative. There's one other condition here to make it an integer. Kylie?
Whole number?
Well, whole number is a different set, but it's a positive or negative non-decimal non-fraction. Okay, so like negative 7.1 would not be an integer. Okay, so as an integer, just 7 is the only way to write 7 as an integer. The next one, a fraction not in simplest form. What's an example of a fraction not in simplest form that has a value of 7? Jack? Other way around, right? 7/49ths would simplify to be 1/7, but 49 sevenths, why is that a value of 7? Kylie?
Because if you simplify it, it's 7.
Right. The fraction bar is really just a division symbol, right? That's where our division symbol comes from. You know, those two dots represent numbers, and you got that fraction bar in the middle. The fraction bar is really just division. And so 49 divided by 7 equals 7. And then using a square root, I'll leave you for that one to yourself. Next question. In our number system, are there more rational numbers or more irrational numbers? Explain. And finally, for review, describe whole numbers and integers. We already talked about integers. If you need to, hey, Google, whole numbers. By the way, Google's not a sponsor of this video. Just throwing that out there. Not a sponsor. Could be if you want to, but not officially. Then you can do that. And that's it. Okay, you come tomorrow with this page completed and you get full homework points. We'll correct it in class, and then we'll move on to CO2. Jack?
What does it mean by in our number system?
In our number system, like all the numbers that exist, fractions, decimals, positive, I'm not having you write them all down. I'm just saying, are there more rational or more irrational? Well, that's for you to figure out, man. Okay? That's for you to figure out. Think about it. The answer might not be as clear as crystal, so think about it a little bit. Yeah. I may have. You have to watch the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Any other questions, comments, concerns, complaints, compliments, congratulations, or criticisms? All right, folks. Oh, I forgot to teach you our outro. So the outro to the video you actually participate in, I say, that's how you math. You say, in unison, don't forget to like and subscribe so that people watching it, okay? So let's practice. Here we go. That's how you math.
Don't